Hey guys, welcome to my first video. Over the Christmas break, I've been working on a car Battle Royale game, and I want to show you guys my progress so far. I've been thinking of naming it Scrap It, but I'm really not sure yet. The idea behind the game is that you and your friends start in a circle with some car materials in the middle, like wheels, armor, a booster, etc. Kind of like the Hunger Games. Then you and everyone else fights for the materials, and you build your car with it. Then you race the car like you would in Star Wars with the pod racing. There would be trios, with one person driving and the other two shooting at other cars. So since it's a car Battle Royale game, the first thing I need is a car. So I did some research online, and I decided on having a physics-based system, and I decided to use raycast. What I mean by this is basically I shoot a ray of light at the ground, and then depending on how long that ray of light is, I add an opposite force, either pushing the car down or up depending on how high above or below it is from the equilibrium position. So this was the first thing I tried. I just tried elevating it to a certain position, although on this iteration I only had it up to one wheel, which was kind of weird. Then I applied the force to all the wheels, which was obviously an easy fix to make. And yeah, the reason why it's just doing that continuously is because there's no damping force on the springs, so if there's no damping force, it's just going to endlessly go up and down, kind of like a sine wave. This was another reason for why I added the damping. If you rotated it once in the scene or whatever, it would just endlessly keep on going. Then to better visualize it, I added a capsule with some sunglasses on it. Adding the bean really helped with the visualization, because he kind of looks like he's riding an angry bull or something. I've then added damping, and it improved it quite a bit, although it's too much right now. I improved that later. Here's a quick test of what would happen if an object fell on it. You can see how it rebounds efficiently. Now that I had finished the suspension, I started working on the steering. This was a lot harder than I anticipated. I just kind of felt like, oh, I'll just add a force on either the left or right side depending on the A or D key. But no, it was... You have to add an opposite force to the force that you're turning, or else you just endlessly drift, which is pretty weird. Another problem that I had was whenever I would go over a ramp or something, the raycast would automatically shoot to the very bottom, so it would assume, oh no, I need to add such a large force to it, when in reality you should just enter freefall. So my very basic solution to that was I just entered freefall if the height was over like 2 meters or so. What I tried next was I moved the wheels closer to the body of the car, and it actually had a surprisingly decent effect on the turning of it. After changing my code quite a bit and also altering the steering and spring settings quite a lot, I ended up with this. It's pretty decent so far, and it never gets any bugs whatsoever. Now that I had the car working, I decided to start working on the camera behind it. I decided to use Cinemachine, and not too long after, I had a pretty decent camera system working. I really like how well it follows the car and gives a sense of speed. Now that I had the steering and the camera working, I decided to focus on adding multiplayer. I've never made a multiplayer game before, so this was pretty rough. And yeah, I decided on using netcode, and I didn't quite anticipate like just how different it was developing for a multiplayer game than it was for a single player game. And yeah, I found some pretty funny things like this where just controlling 2 cars at once was pretty cool. Honestly, another pretty cool idea for a game would be like you control 2 cars at once somehow. Just as in this, because this was pretty sick, honestly. After that, I made actual multiplayer by using Unity's netcode system. And as you can see, I have a ground player and a car player, because I wanted to test what it would be like to hop on the car and move around. But the big problem is that I'm not syncing the data properly between the host and the client. So yeah, after a while of figuring it out, I just decided on making it kind of fake multiplayer for the time being, because actually building the application every single time was extremely time consuming. So I figured that I'll actually add the actual multiplayer on later. And for now, just make it so you can switch between them in single player. That way I don't waste like 2 minutes building each time I want to make one change, and instead only spend like 10 seconds or so. I'm not sure if this is the best approach to it, so if you guys know, then just leave some comments down below on that. So this is what the game looks like with fake multiplayer, as you can just switch between the characters. So then I downloaded a free crossbow model from Polypizza. Usually I 3D model everything myself. This is mostly for prototyping right now, so I'll make sure to replace it later. and what I did was you can hop onto the vehicle if you get close enough. So once you hop onto the vehicle, you can then access a crossbow and you can shoot arrows with it. It's a really rudimentary system. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really trying to improve, so if you guys have any advice whatsoever on just programming, the physics behind it, even video editing like this video for example, or even audio editing or whatever, leave them down below. I just really want to improve. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.